I'm sorry, Yuji, but it looks like Naruto is going to be giving you back shots. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do mean to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Another fun fact. Yuji versus Naruto, huh? Hands only, huh? This is going to be a fun one. But, speaking of fun ones and speaking of fun fact, this is a video by Rhemy. The link to their channel will be in the description down below, along the link to the original video. The video is 8 minutes and 16 seconds long. I can promise you this video will be longer than that because I like to yap. So please make sure to check out Rhemy. They're, like I said, the link to their channel and the original video will be in the description down below. I will be yapping a whole lot. I will be pausing, unpausing, pausing, unpausing, pausing, unpausing. So if you want to watch the original video uninterrupted, go check it out. It'll be linked down below. Now, for my thoughts on the... Well, let me get off this spinning screen first. Let me just do that.
With Yuji?
There we go. I'm the highest quality, I'll just give it a sec. But essentially, Yuji versus Naruto. The big thing about this is that Yuji's only training and wait a second, let me do something. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Okay. The only thing that has me hesitant to really give Yuji much, if any, credit is that his best, most amazing, most juicy, legendary, top-of-the-line, hand-to-hand feats kind of all have context. As in, let's go over it. He fights Choso, and it is very impressive. Choso was literally given a body that same year, and isn't implied to have any sort of combat training. Mahito, a cursed spirit. Not implied to have any sort of combat training or hand skill, and was typically a cursed technique merchant. Who else? Eso and Kechizu? Not really the craziest hand skill out there. Higuruma, he was a lawyer. What hands does he have? I don't know. Probably not that good ones based on how badly Yuji was dogging him. The helicopter guys, once again, nothing too crazy. Random cursed spirits that Yuji was bodybagging in Shibuya, and before that, nothing too crazy. I'm trying to think of the real people that Yuji ran hands with. And you may be like, well, look at what's on the screen, Pencil Man. You're clearly dodging the most juicy, amazing, legendary, scrumbly-umptious, top-of-the-line... I ran out of adjectives already. But you're clearly missing the best, most piece of evidence. He boxed up, outpaced, and beasted on Sukuna. And to that I say, did he really? Let's think about all the major, thick, juicy, and scrumbly-umptious hits that usually lands on Sukuna in particular. And let's just assume this is all hand skill feats. Hate to say it, every single time Sukuna took real damage or was losing, he was hampered. As in, he was either already brain damaged, or already missing arms, or literally missing a heart, or literally, every single situation, it's bad. And Yuji was mostly at peak. He was missing 2 fingers, but, he had the gauntlets to supplement that. And then, on top of that, every single time we see Sukuna at full physical form, or not even full physical form, but even when he's just physically fine, such as right before Yuji Domain, or during Yuji Domain, he beasts on Yuji. And Yuji needs people, such as Nobara, to come in and set up for him to actually go crazy. And I'll be real, what evidence do we have for Sukuna being a crazy hands beast? It's not like he's ever implied to train in martial arts. He was a weapon wielder in the past. He had Kamutoke and Hiten. It's not implied that he threw hands all too crazy. The best you could say is, well, Yuji should scale to Gojo in terms of hands, because Sukuna scales to Gojo in terms of hands, and then Yuji's able to box Sukuna somewhat. But, once again, same question. When hand-to-hand training does Gojo have? I don't know, he punches, and he kicks, but that's all we got. And then they'd be like, okay, Pencil Man, fine. But look at the choreography, and Yuji actually does have some formal training. And yes, he does have formal training in karate, and that's about it. Meanwhile, at least at current, his opponent is Naruto. You know what Naruto mostly does, other than Rasengans? He punches and kicks people. And you know what else Naruto does against people other than Rasengans and Rasen Shurikens? He punches and kicks people who have precognitive abilities, such as the Sharingan. This man Naruto can have hands. He throws them. He be boxing with people. All of various skill levels and varieties in top tier training on their own right, in top tier experience. So, at least in my Dome piece, oh, and plus he does just have actual formal training in, like, taijutsu from people like Jiraiya and Kakashi and even his days early on, and the taijutsu in the Naruto series is just very, very complex. The one thing I'll give it, though, if we are truly doing hands only, Naruto cannot rely on his more traditional fighting style of clones. He's likely going to go into his more Baryon mode style of, like good solid boxing form, or very specifically what he was doing against Momoshiki, like the Wing Chun and stuff like that. But even then, like, even before Boruto, Naruto did have some crazy hands and was putting the work on other experienced combatants who also should have somewhat, if not comparable, hands to characters in the JJK universe, if not better. Once again, those are my thoughts on the top of my Dome piece. I just think Naruto, he should have better hands. He has more fights, more experience against people of greater and similar power, but he did also use more power. So maybe Yuji does have a chance here, and I'm just not seeing the vision. So let's not waste more time, and let's let Rhemy cook on Yuji versus Naruto. Hands only. Did I mess up? Okay, no, I didn't. Hallelujah. I was scared I messed up.
Yuji fighting Sukuna in this final arc, I believe he's risen to be one of, if not the best hand-to-hand fighter in the series. Today though, I'm going to be comparing—
Whoa! I wouldn't say that. I'd give it to Toji, Maki, Sukuna. Not this in no order, by the way. Toji, Maki, Sukuna, Gojo. Those are the main ones. Probably Kenny. Probably Kashimo. Probably Akari, weird. Well, then again, Akari's weird, because, you know, the immortality stuff. But, like, I don't know. Am I the only one who thinks Yuji's hands are low-key overrated? Am I the problem? I may be the problem. Because, once again, I just think all of Yuji's fights have too much context, and his opponents either have too little or undefined amounts of skills. Like, the Manji kick does go crazy, but it was against Mahito, who doesn't have, like, there's no hands. There's nothing that screams hands, at least not to me. But clearly this is a fight that has some sort of belief behind it. Let's see.
Comparing Yuji against another protagonist being Naruto. We're going to be comparing each of their martial arts and adaptive skill, but I won't—
Fire thumbnail, by the way. An amazing thumbnail. It reminds me of Broken Ronin's thumbnails. At least in terms of the style. Probably the same guy.
won't be doing this alone today, which I got a special guest who is none other than Sage of Thick.
I love Sage of Thick Calves. I haven't reacted to a video of his on the channel, but I've low-key been eating his videos on the side. I love Sage of Thick Calves. An inspiration from a guy who's working. Well, let me see. Do I have to keep? Yeah, I'm still working on the calves, but Sage of Thick Calves cameo. I was not expecting that. Now, okay. If you want to check out the link to the original video, the link to Remy's channel, the Sage of Thick Cat, and the Sage of Thick Calves channel will be in the description down below.
Thick Calves. Sage of Thick Calves, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me on the channel. It's exciting. I saw your the strongest video, and I was like, I gotta do a collab.
Oh yeah, and I do agree with that. I saw that too. I saw that too. I want to react to that video as well. But yeah, Yorichi is the best, at least in terms of recent memory, and possibly all. Yorichi is the best definition of the strongest. Better than Gojo, better than Sukuna, better than Escanor, better than Benimaru, better than insert popular character choice for the strongest here. Goku, whatever. Like it's all Yorichi does it the best. That's another video for another time though.
With this guy, so glad to be on the channel, and I'm really excited to dig into this topic. But before I go over Naruto, do you want to go over Yuji real quick?
Yeah, for sure. I'll go ahead and start. Now for Yuji, I want to start with his earlier feats during the series, as I believe it is massively undermined. Yuji on his own is most definitely more athletic than most, being able to run a 50-meter dash in 3 seconds and can legit just throw a car with his own strength. And for his fighting style, as we all know, it's more focused on up-close combat. There's not a confirmed fighting style that Yuji utilizes, but it seems to be based off a martial art known as Taito. Basically, Taito is a fighting—
I thought he was training karate. Brad, did Taito it is?
Style where you maintain your center of gravity while holding on to his opponent so he can stay on the opponent's face at all times. We've seen these in all of his fights like Todo, Hanami, Mahito, and Sukuna. Although he mainly uses straightforward strikes, he does show to have full control of his body, like being able to grapple Choso's neck and just throw him while still being in the air, and being able to unlock parts of his body such as his knees, hips, and shoulders to land his Manji kick, which is a Taito martial art. But by far his best combative skill will be his adaptability. After just joining Jujutsu High, he was able to match Todo in hand-to-hand, who was a grade 1 sorcerer, then was able to learn Black Flash faster than any sorcerer who was in grade 1. The only people who are as skilled as Yuji at landing Black Flashes are legit Gojo and Sukuna, which is crazy to think.
And even then, I would say Yuji's better. Like those in terms of, let's see, especially with that streak, I think Yuji's streak once he awakens is better than even what Gojo and Sukuna both manage. Because Sukuna only gets he gets the one against Maki, the initial one, then he gets the one against Laru, then he gets another one against Maki, then he gets one against Choso, then he gets one against Yuji that bounces off his shoulders. That's 5. And then Gojo hits the 4, I do believe. He gets the first one against Sukuna, then he gets another one against Aito, then he gets one against Maharaga, and I think he gets one more. But that's 4. So I'd say Yuji, he truly, there's a reason he's called the one chosen by the Sparks of Black. He truly is.
Think about for Yuji. Additionally, for his adaptive skill, we've seen Yuji constantly adapt on the fly against people like Mahito who can transfigure their body to any shape or weapon, and people like Choso and Hanami who can control elements such as earth and...
And you know what? I will admit, that's the one thing I was downplaying Yuji on. I was talking about how technically, hands-only skill-wise, he doesn't do all too much, but in terms of genuine, real top-of-the-line adaptability, that man Yuji does pull off crazy stuff. Especially considering for a majority of the series, and realistically, even up until the end of it, because he never, like, he uses blood manipulation offensively twice. It's now presumed that against Higuruma, that one was his, possibly given to him by Choso beforehand, and he uses it again against Sukuna in the free-for-all post the initial Black Flash of Sukuna. So, that's it. For the longest time, Yuji is literally fighting gods with just hands. He's fighting people who can manipulate their body, the environment, other people with just hands. And he is consistently adapting to that. So even if he doesn't have specific formal training, I did definitely massively underplay Yuji's sheer raw adaptability when it comes to applying punches and kicks in unique ways to do extreme damage to people who do have genuine real life powers. Of course, you can make the same argument for Naruto, but the thing with Naruto is he also just has powers. And like the multi-shadow clone jutsu, and the Rasengan, and the Rasen shurikens, and Frog Kumite. Like, he has other things on top of his base. In terms of who's consistently fighting with just their raw hands and a 1v1 more, yeah, it's going to be Yuji. And technically, you could argue that does give him an advantage over Naruto. At the same time, I think Naruto's opponents are still technically more skilled than what Yuji has to offer. Or at least are implied to be more skilled. But maybe that's my Naruto bias speaking. I don't know. Let's see.
and blood. Yuji's usually able to adapt in these conditions within the first move or the first few moves of the fight, especially when considering the environment. Now the final point I will talk about would be his endurance. In most of Yuji's fights, he pretty much disregards any pain or damage his body is taking, like losing limbs, being pierced in vital areas, and being slashed all over his body, and would still be able to continue on fighting afterwards. His endurance along with his up-close fight.
And I definitely underplayed that too. The issue is once you put Yuji in a hands fight only, his opponent's gonna have to start like, and especially if we're removing all powers and they're just throwing hands, his opponent has to armbar and break his arms, and then break his legs, and maybe snap his neck. Like in order to put Yuji down, you have to put him down. Like obviously we've seen before he can just straight up run out of stamina. But that's like well before the end of the series stuff. Like the two times we see Yuji put down is when the finger bearer rips his arm off and blasts him, and when Choso bursts his liver and then gut checks him and then like liver shots him again, and then Yuji literally he cannot keep going. But then like he showed later on, he's walking through admittedly a very weakened dismantle net. He was punched through multiple buildings and just got right back up. He has his finger torn off and still actively bleeding. He probably has caved in ribs because he hasn't unlocked RCT yet. He's still able to do a whole lot. And that's one thing where Naruto may struggle, because we rarely see Naruto do finishing moves with just taijutsu. Or no, in terms of like actual finish, put somebody down type thing. Like we see him beat characters with hands or finish characters off with hands, but we never see Naruto break somebody's arm or break somebody's leg. Have we seen him? If we've seen him liver, I feel like we've seen Naruto gut check people and like liver shot people. But still, yeah. The thing with Yuji in this battle is that Naruto would have to consistently pepper him down over and 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 over again until Yuji eventually runs out of stamina, and Yuji will consistently be reversing and evolving and working around what Naruto has to offer. However, if I had to guess, because it looks like I'm right before the Naruto part, Naruto is also known for his extreme adaptability, but it does come with applications of his jutsu, which he won't have here. So I wonder how Sage of the Calves, because presumably he's going to be the one covering Naruto, I wonder how he's going to end up justifying Naruto's adaptability, specifically in a case where he cannot use his main forms of adaptability, such as Shadow Clone and stuff like that. We'll see. Because admittedly, I haven't done a full reread of Naruto in a while, so I'm trying to see what Sage has to cook.
Fighting style makes it extremely hard to deal with in a combative sense. Now let's compare him to Naruto. Sage's Thick Calves, would you like to take it from here?
Absolutely. Naruto's taijutsu skills are actually a fundamental aspect of his character,
Yeah.
evolving significantly over the course of both the Naruto and Boruto franchises, and showing not only his skill as a shinobi increasing, but also establishing some central aspects of who he is. His journey from a novice ninja to one of the most powerful shinobi in the world showcases not only his growth in strength and skill, but also his adaptability and creativity in combat. But just how sharp is Naruto when it comes to pure hands throughout the series? In the early parts of Naruto, our MC is portrayed as an inexperienced and often clumsy fighter. His taijutsu skills can be characterized by basic strikes and kicks, unpredictability, and the use of shadow clones.
That's the big
Obviously,
thing, yeah.
we won't be considering shadow clones here as it's hands only, meaning that Naruto's basic taijutsu skill, paired with his unpredictable and unorthodox fighting style, will be his greatest aids in taijutsu early on. It is worth noting that the first fanbook details the grades of each academy graduate from Naruto's class, including taijutsu, ninjutsu, and genjutsu prowess. Naruto, interestingly, got a B in taijutsu, which is only behind Sasuke, Kiba, and Hinata, all of whom are either taijutsu specialists or considered a prodigy in that class. It is fair to point out, though, that Shino and Ino both got Bs as well, but, it's impressive that the #1 knucklehead ninja was able to perform well in comparison to his peers in that regard. As the series progresses, particularly during Shippuden, Naruto undergoes...
And we gotta remember, those grades are coming from like people who are trying to make child soldiers. so getting a B in hand-to-hand combat when you're being judged by people who have either fought in wars or expecting you to fight in wars, that's actually still pretty impressive. But once again, it's very, very early kid Naruto.
significant training and growth, leading to marked improvements in his taijutsu skill. In particular, Naruto masters Sage Mode.
Yeah.
The introduction of Sage Mode not only enhances his physical abilities, granting him heightened reflexes, strength, and sensory perception, the training to acquire and master this mode also allows for him to execute more powerful and precise strikes. Utilizing Frog Kata, a fighting style that mimics the combination of boxing, aikido, and taekwondo, Naruto is able to essentially neg physically resilient opponents.
But once again, though, that's the thing. Maybe I was downplaying my glorious King Yuji a little bit, because the thing is, Fro Kumite can't be used here. It's hands only. That's technically a power. Sage Mode and its applications are powers, but of course, there still is technical skill involved here. But yeah, Naruto simply on his nature as a protagonist with powers, unlike Yuji for majority of his narrative. He has a lot of his technical skill is integrated with those powers. So stripping him down to just hands is going to be rough. But of course, once again, you do have Boruto Naruto, who, especially in the anime or the animations, definitely has a lot more just technical hands feats.
With his strikes bypassing conventional durability by extending his attack range via the usage of nature energy. However, again, it is hands only, so nature energy isn't allowed. However, the training that Naruto underwent during this time certainly sharpened his skills as a striker, even if we don't include the durability negating
A strike? Okay,
techniques. In the Fourth War, Naruto's striking skill doesn't really improve a ton, but what we do get to see is him showcase his uniquely strategic fighting style. From early on in the series, Naruto displayed an understanding of basic and even advanced battle strategies, but we really get to see that come to fruition during the Fourth War and the Final Valley. Throughout the war, Naruto demonstrates a greater understanding of tactics and strategy, utilizing both ninjutsu and taijutsu to match and even best the likes of Jubi Madara. An example of this is when his clones were able to match the taijutsu prowess of Madara's Limbo clones, with Madara being a skillful taijutsu master himself, as we got to see when he mowed down the 4th Division, and his Limbo clones being stated to be exact copies of his main body. Naruto's shadow clones,
and that is true. I didn't even think about that. But I'm trying to line up the most impressive. But then again, like what? It's how is Naruto gonna put Yuji down with none of his traditional finishers? He's gonna have to start breaking bones. But have I seen Naruto start breaking bones though? Like that's the thing. Obviously, Yuji wouldn't have like his superhuman ability; it'd just be raw technical skill. But even still, I'm trying to think. In terms of putting Yuji down, putting that mad dog, can he do it? He probably like. It really is a question of who adapts to who faster, who figures out tech faster, and who starts getting lethal quicker. Because both of these characters don't have the most insane traditional training, quote unquote, but they have experience against experienced fighters. Obviously, I think Yuji's best top of the line case for experienced hand-to-hand combatants is Todo and Sukuna, which he does do decent against in both cases. And then Naruto's best in terms of just hands, like here with Madara, and then later on with like Ishiki. But then again, Ishiki may not have any formal training. That's the thing. He's absorbed planets before though. But then again, we don't know if those planets had martial arts, so it's hard to tell. Let's see.
Being able to scrap with them is incredibly impressive. We also get to see this furthered in the fight with Sasuke, as he demonstrates his abilities to read opponents, exploit weaknesses, and utilize the environment to his advantage.
But once again, it's so reliant on the shadow clones. I was gonna be like, well, look at Naruto. He's able to fight people with literal see into the future abilities. But typically, he does that at his best when he's either outstatting them, such as when he was fighting 2 Tomoe Sasuke in the Final Valley Part 1 fight. Or here he does it with using clones on clones on clones on clones. So, it's difficult. Maybe, am I switching? I want to see if I can call it before they call it. Ooh, who's more impressive? And Naruto's hard to put down too. Like, Naruto's stamina and endurance is not something to be slept on either. But like, in terms of that straight, hard, buckle down, assuming these two have similar level of skill, because a lot of Naruto, while I discredited a lot of Yuji's hand-to-hand feats, he's fighting against people who don't know martial arts and don't typically fight with martial arts, and they typically fight with powers. It's like the inverse case. Well, it's not the inverse case. It's a strange case of Naruto, where he's used to fighting people who do have impressive hand-to-hand abilities and cognitive abilities, but ultimately he's using his powers on top of his innate skill. It isn't just his innate hand-to-hand. That only changes once you get to the Boruto era with characters like Momoshiki and Ishiki. But even then, he's outpowering Ishiki drastically. And for Momoshiki, he's relative, if not flat out, outpowering as well. So, it's more contentious. I'm still gonna lead Naruto though, just because I think he has a deeper pool of experience to draw from, more traditional training of high level people from high level people. And I see a lot of Naruto's best hand-to-hand feats, even with their context, in a better standing than I see Yuji's best hand-to-hand feats against like Sukuna. So I'm still gonna lean Naruto, but let's see.
Further showcasing a more mature and intelligent approach to taijutsu. Obviously, by the end of the fight, Naruto and Sasuke are exhausted, but Naruto consistently throughout the fight shows the ability to keep up with and even outperform a skilled taijutsu fighter in Sasuke, despite Sasuke wielding the perception amping Sharingan. In the end, Naruto also utilizes something as simple as a reflection off of a headband paired with impeccable timing to outspeed Sasuke's Chidori and land an iconic vicious uppercut to his rival that knocks him back into a, stone face. So obviously Naruto's tactics and his ability to utilize his surroundings have improved greatly, and then also paired with an increase in his taijutsu skill lead to him being a really capable taijutsu fighter in the Naruto series. However, the Boruto series is where Naruto's taijutsu is easily at its most impressive. We learn that this Boruto era version of Naruto has mastered the Gentle Fist, which is an absolute nail in the coffin for Yuji here in my opinion.
I didn't even know he did that. I didn't even know he did that. Yeah. But then again, that it really comes to a question, right? Like, would that if it's just pain, will Yuji Itadori stop? I don't know. But that a mastery of fighting style is something that Naruto does have that Yuji wouldn't.
Showcased extremely well in Naruto's fight with Momoshiki. During that battle, we get one of the most iconic hand-to-hand sequences in all of anime, with Naruto trading blows with and beating the 1,000-year-old godlike being using a mix of Wing Chun, boxing, and Taekwondo styles to land precise, vicious, and effective blows on an Otsutsuki who has dozens of generations of combat knowledge.
Dang it! Do they have combat now? I forget that. I need to work up my Boruto, dog. I need to buckle down and just reread Boruto. Do they have combat knowledge though? Like, I know they specifically eat the chakra fruit, which is the culmination of all that data. But like, how valuable is that combat knowledge? They have thousands of years of experience in combat, but even then, they sit down and plant to find. I don't know. I mean, presumably it's still more impressive than Sukuna, right? Because like, once again, my main question with Sukuna is what formal training does he have? And he was a weapon wielder. He didn't typically use hands all that often other than to eat. So like, or to cast his abilities. So I feel like Sukuna and the Otsutsuki are actually kind of in a similar spot, except the Otsutsuki are older. So older and more experienced. Since Sukuna didn't actually live for 1,000 years, he lived an undetermined amount of time in his original lifespan, then was turned to fingers, then came back.
I mean, keep this in mind. We get told that Boruto having Momoshiki's memories via karma gives him access to the memories of all of the Otsutsuki that come before in that same line, the ones Momo had eaten in the same way that he ate Kinshiki. We know that this is several Otsutsuki since we get to see that on just one planet in Momoshiki's parallel universe, he has several god trees, all of which would have been a product of Momo sacrificing an Otsutsuki partner to the Ten-Tails. So, Naruto, with taijutsu alone, was absolutely dog-walking an alien god who has access to potentially thousands of years of combat experience. Serving those hot hands on a cold plate, Naruto by this time demonstrated that when it comes to pure hands, he's one of the best in all of anime.
Now that Naruto and Yuji were analyzed, it should come to no one's surprise that Naruto possesses the better hands along with experience and technique advantage. Maybe, and it's extremely generous to say Yuji and Naruto could swap hands briefly, but all in all, Naruto wins this by a fucking landslide. Yeah.
Okay, you language that for so yeah, so okay, I was losing it. I was losing the plot a little bit because I was like trying to get too specific. But yeah, it looks like we still do agree. It is Naruto. It is Naruto. Like you can give Yuji a lot of credit for his hands, and his hands are really clean, but like Naruto, he just has the better breadth of experience. He has more battles, and if we're going by who was the older person that they fought, right? Then it would be the Otsutsuki versus Sukuna. So yeah, I agree. I ultimately do agree with Naruto, but they got me. They got me flipped. What do you guys think though? Well, let me get to the end of this.
I was glad to have you alongside for this video.
Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure being on your channel. I look forward to having you on mine. If you guys haven't subscribed to Rhemy yet, make sure.
I just did. This is the first video I actually clicked on. I saw the Orichi video previously, and I think it's in my watch later playlist. And this was one that's been sitting there for a while too, so I was like, let me hop on this one. So I am subscribed, and I did like the video.
That you guys do, and then come over and check.
And I am subscribed to Sage of Thick Calves. I struggle to say his name all the time, though, because my brain is so used to saying Sage of Six Paths, but you know.
Check out my channel as well if you guys like Naruto content. But yeah, man, I appreciate it, and I look forward to doing many.
All right, W video. It was some good Naruto glaze. It was some good Naruto glaze and some good old Itadori hype. But yeah, I think Naruto winning is like it's probably the thing that most people think of when they first click on the video. And like I thought of it too. Like you heard me at the beginning. And while I do want to give more respect and praise to Yuji, and I love Yuji, but yeah, I think Naruto has that handle. But of course, that's what I think. That's what Sage of Thick Calves and Rhemy thinks. Please tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave paw to paw. You know, like whether it be pause in PA or pause in PAW, leave paw to paw in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a page down below where you support me first as one, get them on. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks will include the live reactions here are the series I am to review, and free variations of all my videos, and if you become a $25 patron or a $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, I do have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below where you drop 5 beans for a short video, 20 beans for a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Greyhound, Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Glacier, XZ, G Prosper, Planet Crone, Zeta, and Brandon Payne. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons: Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin, Encarnacion, and A+A. And then I'd like to give a huge thank you to our ink tier members: Fine, Austin Wimberly, Euchiha, Yuki Ally, and Carlo Alaimo. Then I'd like to give a gargantuan thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. Then I'd like to give another gargantuan thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Overlord Zero, Waki Minoz, and Idemokami. Then I'd like to give a final legendary top of the line thank you to our That Guy with a Pencil tier patron, the glorious king, Calvin Elder.